Now let's move on and see how the SAML bearer assertion flow works. This flow is very similar to the JWT bearer assertion flow, but instead of a JWT, the identity provider generates a SAML2 assertion. This means the identity provider is a SAML identity provider. If you are unfamiliar with SAML, it's an older authentication protocol similar to OpenID Connect that generates assertions in XML format. In SAML terminology, the OAuth 2 client is referred to as the service provider, and the resource owner is called the principal. The client receives the SAML bearer assertion and sends a POST request to the token endpoint of the authorization server to exchange the assertion for an OAuth 2 access token. Here's how the curl command looks. The client sends a POST request to the token endpoint. The content type is set to URL encoded from data. The grant type is set to SAML2 bearer, indicating the use of the SAML bearer assertion flow. The assertion parameter contains the SAML bearer assertion to be exchanged. Optionally, the request can include a scope parameter for fine-grained access control. If the client is confidential, credentials such as client ID and client secret are also included in the request. Next, the OAuth 2 authorization server validates the SAML bearer assertion, mapping any claims within it, such as user attributes or roles. If everything checks out, the authorization server generates an OAuth 2 access token and returns it to the client. This token allows the client to act on behalf of the resource owner who initiated the request with the identity provider. If the request was machine initiated, the access token represents the machine's identity. From this point onward, the process is similar to other OAuth 2 flows. The client uses the access token to perform actions or request resources from the resource server. The resource server in turn validates the access token, and if valid, returns the requested resources, completing the process.